California, it is time for the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing is scheduled in the super lightweight division. Presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and sponsored by Corona Extra, la cerveza más fina. Also Mexico, live it to believe it. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the Executive Officer, Andy Foster. Chairman, John Carvelli. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside on the 10-point must system. Max DeLuca, Eddie Hernandez, and Thomas Taylor. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Dr. Lou Moran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready, and the fighters are ready. Indio, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing tonight white trunks trimmed in gold, he weighed in officially 139 and 1/2 pounds. His professional record in 20 bouts, outstanding with 17 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, and 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of and representing Norwalk, California, here is Carlos Molina! And next his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing white with black, he weighed in 136 and 1/2 pounds. This 35 veteran has an outstanding record, standing at 28 victories, just 1 defeat, 1 draw, and 16 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of San Diego, California, here is Marcito, no mercy, Gesta! Once again, referee Dr. Lou Moran with the final instructions.
Over here. Okay, gentlemen, I'm giving you instruction in the dressing room. Let's have a good fight, obey my commands, and turn your corner and wait the bell. Good luck.
Right back. Right. The fight we've been waiting for. You hear the Molina chant in the background. Norwalk is about 2 hours away. A lot of his fans have come out. A lot of them wearing his shirts designed by DeCamp. And you see him all over the hotel. He has a strong following because this Molina is a fighter who's been fighting since the age of 7. He trained at the Commerce Gym. A lot of amateurs came out of there. And Gesta also has a huge back. And Molina is all business.
Lead left hook from Carlos Molina. He means business.
And he's been saying that for weeks. Smile. Yeah. He gets tagged and a smile here. Okay. We told you there's going to be action in the main event. Here we go. Scheduled for 10.
I love this matchup. You know why? I have no idea who's going to win. I have no idea who has the advantage. 2 very evenly matched, experienced, young, professional lightweights.
Carlos Molina has lost his last 2 fights against Amir Khan and Adrian Broner.
2 elite talents.
Marcito, Gesta, no mercy, is 28-1-1. His only loss was against Miguel Vasquez on the Pacquiao-Marquez undercard. A bad night for Filipinos.
Yeah, and that was an IBF lightweight title bout. And Vasquez, a veteran from Mexico, one of the best technicians in boxing. So both guys, they've lost to the best. And both guys will tell you those losses only made them hungrier, only made them want to work harder in the gym, only made them want to improve more.
It's like when a major leaguer gets called up from the minor leagues, they taste the majors for a little bit, they get sent back. It's like, I got to do everything I can to get back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we have here between Gesta and Molina. Gesta, the Filipino fighter with the black boots. Molina, good left. Molina's been landing the good shots here in the first round. Gesta just shaking them off with a smirk.
If you remember in the fighter meetings this morning, Carlos said in order for him to be in his groove, he has to do one thing: let his hands go. Be fast and be fluid. When he waits, he's not being himself.
Molina came in a pound over. The agreed weight was 138. Molina's at 139. He couldn't lose that pound. They finally agreed on the weight that they're going to fight at. Molina apologized to his promoter, his manager, and he also apologized to Gesta's crew. He's making up for that here. A very aggressive in the first round is Carlos Molina.
Fast start from Molina, and that's smart.
Different from him.
Well, Gesta is somebody who's very athletic. He has power, he has speed, but he's not somebody who comes out like gangbusters. If you can kind of stifle him early, you sort of slow him down. It takes him longer to get into that groove, to get into that rhythm, to get warmed up.
Good opening round for Carlos Molina. He has to switch into the southpaw. He would do that every now and then. And Molina just comes right back at him. An impressive round for Carlos Molina. Second round scheduled for 10. Marcito, No Mercy, Gesta, and Carlos Molina. Molina 17-2-1 with 7 KOs in his career. And yes, he's the older brother of the Molina twins, who are up and coming, who are Olympians. Javier and Oscar. Marcito Gesta doesn't have that smirk on his face here in the second round to start now, Doug, huh?
Yeah, both guys are from fighting families. Gesta's family background in the combat sports is kickboxing and Muay Thai kickboxing. Gesta had no boxing amateur experience. Turned pro as a teenager and has learned on the job. And he has his work cut out for him tonight because Molina does come from a boxing background as well as an amateur boxing background. Had 125 amateur fights and more than 100 amateur victories. He is a former national amateur champion. And that's his edge, is the boxing foundation. He is an aggressive technician. He has very compact combination, good textbook technique. You never see him load up too much with the punch or throw wild punches or loop his punches. It's always nice and crisp. And as he says, he's in his groove when he's just letting his hands go. He's also a very good counterpuncher.
Marcito Gesta, as you mentioned, a fighting family. His brother is an MMA fighter. His sister, also a fighter. His sister actually is seeing her brother, Gesta, for the first time in 5 years. She lives in Miami, in Indio tonight, to watch her brother as the main event. We talked about the opening of the show. You can throw every cliche, back against the wall. You must win. It's not hyperbole, though. These guys have so much on the line tonight, and they're fighting like it, especially Molina.
Yeah, both guys are at their peaks as athletes. They are in their mid to late 20s. They've been built up. They're past the prospect developmental period of their pro careers. Both guys, I think, have the ability to be top 10 or top 15 contenders. They just have to win tonight to make that step.
Gesta 27, Molina 29. 30 seconds to go in the second round.
Gesta finally letting his hands go, but he's getting hit in return. But Gesta he's got to gamble a little bit. He's got to make something happen.
A lot of respect in this ring because each fighter gets tagged. That little nod like, okay, you got me there. That's what Molina did to Gesta. It's a wild swing and a miss from Gesta.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Lead right just misses from Carlos Molina, but then he gets another right in there, and Gesta came back with a left uppercut. Some nice exchanges at the end of round 2.
Real good exchange. At the end, Gesta might have snuck away that round, a little flurry that he had.
I thought Molina was in control for the majority of the round. He's been the effective aggressor so far in this bout, so I scored the first 2 rounds for Molina. But it looks like Gesta is finally woken up, and he's letting those hands go. And I would say out of the 2 fighters, he's the more natural athlete. I would think that he's the guy with the more natural talent. And you have to be. Yeah, definitely Molina, the more durable, the more rugged guy, the better combination puncher, the better technician, maybe the better ring general. Maybe that's going to be decided in this fight.
Gesta switching to the southpaw stance every now and then.
And Gesta told us in the fighter meetings that one of his main keys to victory is not to stand in the pocket too long, not to stay in one place, to get his punches off and then to move.
Gesta was in the Philippines. That's returned pro at the age of 16 and moved to the United States. Was living with Manny Pacquiao briefly, but it was just too crazy there in Hollywood where Manny lives. Where that camp, there's like 8,000 people around him.
Yeah, that's a big entourage.
Found his way down to San Diego where he was living in a garage. Eventually his mom and dad joined him. To the Philippines, in Cebu where he's from. It's interesting, it's fun to visit, but America's his home now.
Yeah, he's from a rough part of Cebu.
Parents say you don't want to go there. He's in a rough one tonight. Here in the third, scheduled for 10 against Carlos Molina.
You see, he's moving his feet as well as his hands, employing some feints. He's gradually getting into his fighting rhythm.
Back to the orthodox method.
And finding his style.
Gets tagged by a right by Molina. But he comes right back and has to work in the body.
I like Gesta better as a southpaw. I think he just should stay southpaw. I think he's more effective that way, but a lot of young fighters like to switch hit. It's just comfortable to him. And now he's at the southpaw stance.
Trained by his father is Gesta.
This is a much better round for Gesta because he is sticking and he is moving. One of Molina's weaknesses is that maybe he's a little bit slow of foot.
Saw that against Kong.
Yes, we did.
15 seconds to go in the third round. That's a good one. All action from the get-go. Molina took the first punch. The bell ain't even rung and he's there. And here you see Gesta finishing with the flurry here. Marcito Gesta told us in the fighter meeting that he's here to put on a show. He and Carlos Molina finished with a flurry in the third, smiled at each other, touched gloves, and went to the respective corners. A good action fight. And there you see the stats throwing the night, Doug.
Gesta is the busier fighter, but Molina is more accurate, which is what I expected, to be quite honest.
And Jessica Rosales in the corner of Gesta. What are they saying, Jess?
So I was sitting down with Team No Mercy, and they told me they definitely expected Molina to be aggressive, but they're surprised at just how aggressive he is early in this fight. They were telling me that they plan to just continue sticking to their game plan that they had, let it unfold with the fight. And they said the main thing is that Marcito actually needs to relax a little bit. His emotions are high, and they said he needs to just relax, and the rest will just put itself in place.
Emotions are high from Gesta, and he's the more polished fighter.
He looks like he's in his groove now. I scored round 3 for Gesta, and so far in round 4, I would say Gesta is in control. He's picking his spots, and when he does let his hands go, he's giving the judges something to score. And I think the movement has stifled the offense of Molina just a little bit.
You were mentioning how Carlos Molina, more of a fighter who stands in front of you. Not the best footwork where he's fast out there on his feet.
Yeah,
but he likes that brawling style.
He's got quick hands. He has great combinations. He has good technique. He's a good counter puncher. But he's at his best when he's in the pocket.
In that pocket, so he's got to stay there.
And he's somewhat methodical. And I don't know, can you tell? It looks like he's getting a mouse under his left eye.
Gesta had switched to that southpaw, and he's been working that left eye. Small mouse.
Nice straight left to the body from Gesta.
Gesta looking in control here in the fourth round. Yeah, a little bit of a mouse on the left eye, and that's come from the jab of Gesta as he's throwing it from the southpaw position. Good flurry between the two fighters. This crowd is getting their money's worth, and they're loving it.
This is a high-level boxing match. Seeing some good skill. We're seeing some good talent. Two guys who are very determined.
Here's the way you start off fight week. We get it going here on Golden Boy Live. Gesta and Molina, and it ends up all next week with Canelo and Kirkland. So Golden Boy getting you going. What a week of action. Gesta. He and Carlos Molina are a good one. Golden Boy live. Jessica Rosales telling us that Molina's corner told him, when you hear the 10-second clap, let the hands go, steal the round, see what happens here in the fifth.
That's good advice, because Gesta does kind of relax a little bit right before the bell.
Marcito Gesta, the Filipino, the southpaw stance. He switches back and forth.
I like him as a southpaw.
He looks more natural as a southpaw.
Yeah, I like him when he's doing the baby Pacquiao thing, when he's, he's flaring up the way the young Pacquiao used to, letting those hands go, particularly when his man is up against the ropes. And I like the use of feints. He needs to keep extending that southpaw jab.
Carlos Molina fought Amir Khan in December 2012. Took the entire year off to heal and injuries. And he fought Adrian Broner last May of 2014. But he had chronic knee injuries. He actually had the PRP, the platelet-rich injection into his knee instead of having surgery. He said that was a success, but because of that, he couldn't work out, couldn't run, so he gained weight. And then in January, he got finally back into the gym, so he had to lose the excess weight to get back to fighting weight. So it's been a struggle for January and February and March for Carlos Molina, but here he's in a good one. He's looking good against Marcito Gesta.
Yeah, Molina has always battled the scale. Like you alluded to, he has two brothers. They're twins. They're almost 6 foot tall.
Yeah, he's 5'5".
And they fight at welterweight and junior welterweight. And he's like, you take one of his brothers and just scrunch him down a little bit below 5'6", and you have Carlos, but he's dense, he's thick. Got dense muscles and dense bone structure. He's very compact.
The small running backs you can't tackle.
He's not big enough to really be a full-fledged junior welterweight, but it's very difficult for him to make 135 pounds. He's kind of like a tweener.
And here, Gesta's landing that jab. A little knot underneath the left eye of Molina is starting to get bigger.
Molina's answering back, though, in this round.
Yeah, there it is.
Especially when he puts those punches together. He can counter-punch with the left or the right, but he can land 2 and 3 punches at a time. Oh, nice left hook.
Gesta has landed that left hook with ease here in the 5th round, and this is the only time in the fight where Gesta hasn't switched back to the orthodox stance. He stayed lefty from the moment the bell rang in the 5th, and he lands that left hook again.
Nice lead right from Molina.
Good combination from the Filipino. And Molina is eating some leather here against the ropes.
I think Gesta is outworking him when they exchange in close.
10 seconds to go in the 5th round.
Good stuff from Gesta in round 5. Lead left, followed by a right hook and a flurry of punches.
There you see in the 6th round, Gesta and Molina, but through 5. Molina's landed 44%, but Gesta more effective ones, right, Doug?
Gesta is busier, and he's brought up his accuracy since the opening 2 rounds.
Jessica Rosales working the corners. What do you have, Jess?
So when Molina sat down, you guys, he did not say a word. He just listened to what his corner had to say. And they told me that Molina's actually being a little bit more accurate tonight. The one thing they do want to see from him is timing his right jab a little bit better. They said that is the key to winning this fight, and they feel that they could stop Gesta with that right jab. They also said they feel they're winning the earlier rounds, and if he just continues what he's doing, they feel very confident about what the outcome will be tonight.
Almost a year since Carlos Molina was in the ring. And the last one was May 3rd of last year against Adrian Broner. A long layoff. But he's looking sharp here against a very tough fighter in Gesta.
Molina started that fight with Broner very well.
Yes, he did.
Swarming Broner, a huge favorite.
Touched him a little bit.
He put hands on him in, like, I would say, the first 4 rounds, and then he admits that he took his foot off the gas pedal because he was concerned about his conditioning, concerned about his endurance and stamina in the late rounds. And you can't do that against a guy as talented as Broner. Broner took over the fight and won a decision. He has to make a conscious decision in this fight not to do the same thing, because he started off very fast, letting his hands go. I scored the first 2 rounds for Molina. I've scored the last 3 for Gesta, although round 5 was very close. That could really go either way.
Carlos Molina from Norwalk, California, the alumni of Glenn High School. And Gesta is staying in that southpaw stance. As you said it, Doug, you like him better there.
I think he's a natural southpaw.
Since the moment he switched to southpaw, he's been in control.
Yeah. That to me is how he is most effective. He seems comfortable but effective. And right now, I would say his biggest edge, apart from being a southpaw, is the fact that he's moving a lot. He can move, and when he plants his feet, he lets his hands go, and he's able to outwork Molina in the exchanges. Molina's still very competitive, though. I don't want to discount anything that Molina's doing because he's landing shots in here. I just think he needs to be a little bit busier. He's very accurate. I mean, 44% accuracy so far. That's very good. But I think he needs to bring that activity back up to what he was doing in rounds 1 and 2.
Marcito, Gesta. No Mercy is his nickname. Has Molina on the ropes. Good exchange, good flurry. Molina answering back. Oh, a good one on Golden Boy live in the desert.
Gesta landing a beautiful left uppercut followed by a wonderful right hook. Gesta swarming Molina whenever he gets him against the ropes.
7th round scheduled for 10, and in the corner of Molina, his trainer Barragan yelling at him. We can hear him on the other side of the ring. Don't let him take this fight from you. Molina coming out more aggressive here in the 7th. Last couple rounds, Gesta controlled him. The southpaw, he's sticking with that stance. As Molina trained at the House of Boxing in San Diego. Also the home of Antonio Relentless Ortiz, or Roscoe. Sorry about that. Antonio Roscoe, gotta get the name right. Gesta tagged. Nods his head, okay.
Both guys are at their best offensively when they are using combinations. As we saw in that highlight, Gesta will go to the body and come right back up with the head, or he'll use a left uppercut and come back with the right hook. And that is a dangerous combination for, from a southpaw. Carlos has to keep his left hand up and his right hand up.
Carlos entered with a song by Vicente Fernandez, No Me Sé Rajar. You've heard it a lot, Doug. Means I don't back down. I don't know how. There's that translation for you. And he hasn't backed down at all in this fight.
No wonder I hear that song a lot when fighters come into the ring. Fighters of Mexican descent.
You also hear El Rey a lot, the king.
Yes.
A lot of these guys believe they are, but they're not. But No Me Sé Rajar is one I ain't backing out. I don't know how. Loosely translated.
Well, Molina is not backing down. He's staked out the center of the ring in this round, and that's good because I think whenever Molina's back touches the ropes, Gesta swarms on him. And whether or not he's landing those punches clean or not, the judges take notice.
They had the media workout for them in San Diego. The same day they had the Canelo media workout. And you're talking to Molina, you're talking to Gesta, both of them saying how this fight meant so much for them, how they needed to win and impress in their win. And here, you guys are just standing in the middle and letting them go and chugging it. So much on the line for these two fighters.
They're going tit for tat. I've scored the last 2 rounds for Gesta, but I think they're very close. And I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of the official judges scored one of those 2 rounds for Molina. He's stalking Gesta in this round, and I think they've landed equally so far.
There might have been a clash of heads there as Gesta was walking away with the crowd. Molina keeps coming, nods his head, keeps going, letting his hands go here in the 7th. Exactly what his corner's been telling him as Gesta's pawing at his eyebrow. He thinks he might have got cut with a headbutt. No, nothing from the official. Molina with a heavy crowd. The 5'6" in Norwalk is loud in India. Marcito, Gesta, Carlos Molina. We go to the 8th round, scheduled for 10. The Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. Golden Boy live on Fox Sports 1. All action from the opening bell when Molina came out really aggressive. And then you see the stats for this fight. Molina lands a good left. They're just trading him now.
Good shots from Molina. Head-shaking shots landed by Carlos Molina, and he needs to do that. He's been closing rounds pretty strong. He needs to start the round strong.
Molina with that stern look. Gesta, a southpaw. Started the fight orthodox. Ever since he switched, seems like he took control of this fight. Good work from Gesta. Gesta, a huge boxing historian, especially with the Filipino boxing, and knew all about the fighters coming off the island. So he wants to make a name for himself. Anytime you bring Filipino fighters up, of course you're going to mention Manny Pacquiao. So he wants to make a name for himself. So, but when you're living in San Diego, you become a Mexican by eating the food. He feels he's eating more Mexican food than he is lechon or adobo. He said, no more lumpia.
This is an interesting round because I think Molina has been more consistent. It looks like, to me anyways, that Molina has landed more punches, but when Gesta lands, it's flashier.
Gesta from a fighting family. All three siblings fought. The mom would just throw him in the street and say, you guys go fight outside. Molina also from a fighting family. He, along with his twin brothers and their dad, walked into the gym at the age of 7 and never left.
Molina, the more consistent fighter, offensively speaking, in this round. Gesta is picking his spots, and he's very flashing in those spots. I think the round is really up for grabs, although I would give Molina a slight edge so far.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 8th round.
And it looks like Gesta may be taking this round off a little bit. It would be great if Molina would step it up.
Well, his corners told him the last few seconds, you got to come in and steal with that flourish. See what he does here. As we go to the closing seconds of the 8th round, Molina and Gesta. It's been a good one all night long, and they're just letting the hands go.
I think both corners have done a great job.
Yeah, it's been exciting all night long. We knew this when the fight was announced. We knew that when we walked through the meetings this morning. The way that they talked. And the action's been going from the opening bell. 9th round, we're scheduled for 10. Carlos Molina, 17-2-1. Marcito Gesta, 28-1-1. Both have gone up. They had chances at a world title, and they came up short.
It's a nice combination for Molina, and he utilized some feints before letting his hands go, just like Gesta has been doing for the past, 3 or 4 rounds. Both guys have a lot of tools, and you can tell, obviously both guys want to win.
Yeah.
But both guys have a lot of respect for the other.
You can see Gesta just the feints with that jab. Trying to pick that up a little bit more here in the night. Molina landing the bigger shots like that.
That was nice. You got to be on guard when you're in close against Molina because he is a good counterpuncher.
Okay, gets hit on the button, just keeps on staring at Gesta. More movement from Molina here in the 9th round. The round before this, he was standing in the middle. As you mentioned, we've so accustomed to seeing him.
Right, that's what we're used to seeing from him. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe he isn't flat-footed or isn't... maybe he doesn't have such heavy feet. He's moving around pretty decent.
The conditioning is a factor. We thought so. It looks good here in the 9th. We knew Gesta was on point. No sign of ring rust after almost a year off. Good work from Barragan and House of Boxing down in San Diego, getting Molina ready for this fight. And Marcito Gesta also. They were actually working out in the same gym at the same time before this fight was announced.
That doesn't happen often.
No, they were both just going in there and getting some work done.
Yeah. Miguel Diaz has done a good job with that eye on Molina.
Oh, yeah.
That left eye hasn't gotten worse. And it was looking pretty angry about rounds 3 or 4. It looks like Diaz, a veteran, probably future Hall of Fame cornerman.
Does great work, right?
Yeah, he's got it under control.
You see him in everybody's corner. So if he's in your corner, you're good. Give Molina some blood come out of his nose. Closing seconds of the 9th round. Ooh, been a good one all night long between Gesta and Molina.
Here's Carlos Molina on the attack, getting Gesta against the ropes, landing a lunging straight right.
Crowd on its feet as the fighters touch gloves for the 10th and final round. All action, money's worth. Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino put on a good show. And you see the numbers now even. What a shocker.
Yeah, both guys have evened up in these final rounds. They're really toss-up rounds. I've given the last 2 rounds to Molina, however.
Jessica Rosales working the corners. What do you got, Jess?
Teams have very similar game plans with the same message, and that's to finish strong. Gesta's team said he needs to be the aggressor and throw more. Molina's team said his sense of urgency is so high. He needs this fight. He needs to apply more pressure and will do everything possible to be impressive. So expect fireworks in this 10th as they both pull out all the stops to close strong.
Good flurry, good mix. The action is just fantastic. The environment is awesome. And we knew that coming in. You have the Filipino, you have the Mexican, you have 2 guys with so much on the line. And from the opening bell, they just let it have it. We've got our money's worth here. But still, Doug, it's close.
Yeah.
Real close.
Oh, it's very close. And the last couple of rounds have been very close. I mean, I have a little note next to a bunch of rounds. Rounds 5, 6, 7. Close. It's
so close, even you're right.
I really think the fight is up for grabs. And I kind of expected that. These are evenly matched fighters with contrasting styles and styles that mesh very well in the ring.
Gesta the southpaw, Molina with the white boots, haircut at RC's. Looking good here in the final round as he's trying to put the pressure onto the Filipino fighter. Gesta getting off of the ropes. Good right from Molina, tags Gesta.
That was well timed. That was a lead right from the outside.
Another right from Molina.
There's another one.
As Gesta's looking into the screen that's behind him, looking at a replay. Wonder what he's looking at. 30 seconds to go in the fight. Molina trying to go over the big haymaker. Crowd definitely on his side. Crowd on its feet now. Molina with another big punch. As Gesta starting to let his hands go.
That was a heavy shot from Gesta. It was a right hook. No, it was a left hook.
Final seconds of what's been an entertaining fight. Gesta, Molina.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards one more time for the war between the ropes. Give it up, Indio. And here are the judges' scoring totals. Judge Eddie Hernandez scores the bout 98-92 for Molina. Judge Thomas Taylor, 96-94, Gesta. And Judge Max DeLuca scores this contest 95-95. We have a split draw.
I agree with, I don't agree with the 98-92 scorecard. That's just too one-sided. I thought either guy could have won by a couple points. I agree with Max DeLuca, though, 95-95, 5 rounds apiece.
I can see 96-94 either way.